Buddha's teachings. Simple habits to make every day enjoyable. A simple way to find happiness. In a small, quiet town, there was a young man named Rio who couldn't find joy in his daily life. Although he didn't have any specific complaints, he felt something was missing. When friends and family asked him, "What's wrong?" he could only respond with a vague smile. One day, however, Rio stumbled upon a heart-stirring experience that would change his life. Buddha's teachings. Rio was browsing the internet, searching for ways to be happy and how to enjoy daily life when he came across a video about Buddha's teachings. In the video, a serene monk said, "Happiness isn't something you seek outside yourself. It's something you find within." Rio felt his heart lighten at those words. Maybe happiness isn't something far away, he thought. That night, Rio lay in bed with his eyes closed, reflecting on the day's events. Small exchanges at work, a parent and child he saw at the station. The city bathed in the light of the setting sun. Moments he once took for granted suddenly felt warm. A gentle sense of contentment began to light up his heart. The next morning, Rio looked in the mirror and smiled. It was just an ordinary morning, but something felt different. Everything seemed fresh and new to him. Rio whispered to himself, "Thank you. Let's do our best today." It was the first time he had ever spoken to himself like that. Rio was curious to see how he might continue to change. He remembered the words of the monk from the video, deciding to cherish each day. To enjoy each day, the monk had said, you need to cultivate gratitude in your heart. Rio took this to heart and started his own journey of discovering small daily gratitudes. That day, on his commute, Rio paid closer attention to the scenery and the expressions on people's faces. The sight of a businessman sleeping soundly beside him, a baby smiling at him in its mother's arms, all of it made his heart feel warm. Rio realized, this small moment is the happiness within daily life. At work, Rio began to approach things a bit differently. Previously, he would complete tasks without much engagement, but now he greeted everyone cheerfully and made an effort to start conversations. Gradually, more smiles surrounded him, and he felt his own heart lightening as well. During his lunch break, Rio sat on a bench in the park, watching the sunlight streaming through the trees. He thought again about Buddha's teaching. Happiness is within. Rio never imagined that simply being mindful of the small joys within could fill his heart so fully. He whispered a quiet thank you to himself and felt truly grateful. Rio's heart grew more fulfilled with each small joy he discovered. Sometimes, however, work challenges or personal worries would still cross his mind, but each time he would take a deep breath and refocus on the gratitude within. Amazingly, his worries would ease, and he felt able to face any problem. One day, Rio reflected on how often he had been overwhelmed by anxiety and comparison with others in the past. He had frequently felt inferior to others. But now, with his habit of finding daily joys, he could genuinely appreciate others' successes and happiness. As a result, Rio began building better relationships at work as well. His colleagues began to comment on how much brighter he seemed, which brought even more fulfillment to his heart. Rio came to realize that happiness isn't something given by others, it springs from within himself. Despite these changes, moments of anxiety still surfaced. But with Buddha's teaching in mind, he would tell himself, "It's okay. Believe in yourself." For Rio, these words became his core encouragement and support. Time passed, and Rio had completely transformed. Once, people would ask him, "What's wrong?" But now he discovered and treasured his own sources of happiness. Rio's changes began to positively affect his family and friends, who also started noticing small daily joys. Rio realized that by being happy himself, he could positively impact those around him. To continue spreading this happiness, he started each day by expressing gratitude to himself. What began as Buddha's teachings had now deeply rooted itself in Rio's heart, becoming his personal philosophy. How about you, everyone? Why not try finding small joys in your daily life? They may not be extraordinary, but might be hiding in plain sight. Like Rio, by cultivating gratitude, your days can also transform. Start by saying a simple thank you to yourself. This small step may just guide you to greater happiness.